is sparking affair rumors after it showed a company's CEO and HR executive on the kiss cam. Watch this.
Oh, look at these two. All right, come on, Ruthie. Come on.
She's the head of HR. So today she had to call herself into her own office. That was it.
Jimmy Fallon and Stephen Colbert took to late night to absolutely humiliate astronomer CEO Andy Byron following his Coldplay concert kiss cam scandal. Byron has now responded to the devastating late-night episodes, revealing he is in a full-blown mental breakdown after being trashed on national television and wants to take legal action against the late-night hosts. Watch as we go over all the details and give the latest updates following the kiss cams seen around the world. The second the internet stopped arguing about body language, late-night TV picked up the gavel. On July 22nd, Stephen Colbert opened with a full-blown Coldplay kiss cam parody. Camera swoops, crowd roar, and an announcer sneer that echoed the real clip. Uh-oh, either they're having an affair or they're just very shy. Jimmy Fallon pops up in the bit, clinking beers with Seth Meyers, like two rival anchors high-fiving over the same shipwreck. Suddenly, Andy Byron isn't just a trending name, he's set dressing in a rare cross-network roast. Colbert doesn't leave it at gossip. He whips out a fake memo from corporate mid-sketch. Purely financial decision, $40 to $50 million, using Byron's mess as camouflage to take a flamethrower to his own bosses at CBS Paramount. The crowd laughs, but the subtext is dagger sharp. Your scandal is my soapbox. Fallon's cameo inside Colbert's bit is the wink. His Tonight Show tag of the moment as an alleged affair is the elbow to the ribs. Two hosts, two networks, one clip, and the meme just graduated to primetime. And that's the shift. Once late night packages a scandal, it stops being rumor and starts being canon. If TikTok made Andy viral, Colbert and Fallon made him into folklore. Colbert didn't just mention the scandal. He rebuilt it shot for shot and twisted the knife. The bit opens like a real arena segment, the heart graphic, the crowd roar, the exaggerated announcer voice purring, uh-oh, either they're having an affair or they're just very shy. It's the exact energy of the original moment, only this time the targets are A-list friends popping up in quick hits. Anderson and Andy, Stewart and Oliver, Fallon and Meyers clinking beers like conspirators. The message is brutal in its simplicity. If you thought that kiss cam was harmless, watch what happens when we control it. Then Colbert flips the camera inward. He pulls out a faux corporate memo mid-gag. This is a purely financial decision. Somewhere between $40 and $50 million. The studio laughs, but the subtext isn't subtle. He's using Andy Byron's meltdown as a human shield while he torches CBS and Paramount for axing his own show. It's satire dressed as self-defense, and it lands because everyone already knows the scandal's beats. Byron's hug becomes a prop. Colbert's rage slips out dressed as a punchline. He even sneaks in a final stinger, an animated Trump cuddling the Paramount logo like a scandalized prom date. It's chaos layered on farce, and every layer traces back to that Boston jumbo screen. By the time the sketch ends, Byron's blunder isn't just internet fodder. It's ammunition in a late-night war with corporate. And remember, Fallon was in that sketch smiling, but he still had his own monologue waiting across town. Jimmy played it the way only Fallon can, smiling while he sticks the landing. After clinking beers inside Colbert's spoof, he slid back behind his own desk and folded the Coldplay clip into his monologue like it was just another weird headline. Kiss cam exposes an alleged office romance, and somewhere an HR module is screaming. No need to linger, just a quick wind-up, a grin, and a punchline about losing more than your voice at a concert. The audience laughed because the setup was already done for him. Everyone knew the clip, everyone knew the stakes, so Fallon only had to add that little Tonight Show twist. Goofy, a touch incredulous, and just sharp enough to sting. He framed it as a whoops moment you can't walk back. 30 seconds, a jumbo screen, and suddenly you're linked in as a ghost town. Then he pivoted, classic Fallon, into a 1-2 tag about Coldplay lyrics accidentally doubling as divorce counsel. It wasn't vicious, it was wry. The kind of joke that sounds harmless until you realize millions just heard your name between a punchline and a band leader's rim shot. What made it hit harder was context. Viewers had already watched Colbert turn the scandal into cinematic satire. Fallon's breezy riff confirmed it. If both shows are joking, the narrative's locked. Byron isn't just a guy who got caught. He's a template for "don't be that dude" jokes in every office kitchen tomorrow. And with late night's seal of mockery stamped, the internet didn't just keep laughing, it amplified. Once Colbert weaponized the bit and Fallon sprinkled his monologue dust, the story stopped living on niche tech Twitter and started breathing on every timeline. Entertainment sites clipped the sketches, recap blogs wrote "here's what you missed" posts, and morning radio hosts suddenly knew Andy Byron's name. Meme accounts cropped Fallon's smirk next to the hug freeze frame. Instagram carousel slapped "alleged affair" in block letters, like it was a Marvel title card. The scandal wasn't being reported anymore, it was being remixed. That's the late-night multiplier effect. One joke on national TV becomes 1,000 micro-jokes by lunch. HR pros on LinkedIn posted teachable moments. Marketing gurus did threads on brand crisis in 30 seconds. Even your cousin who only watches football knew the Coldplay kiss cam thing. The clip mutated from evidence to shorthand. Say kiss cam and everyone fills in the mess for you. And every laugh tightened the vice. Astronomer couldn't out SEO comedians. A blackout homepage and vanished LinkedIns looked less like strategy and more like shame. Because when the punchlines land on couches across America, silence doesn't read as careful, it reads as caught. But the real shock wasn't just the volume, it was the aim. Colbert wasn't only dragging a CEO, he was firing at his own network. Fallon played nice but still nudged the bruise. The scandal was now fuel for agendas bigger than Andy Byron. Inside Astronomer, the lights didn't just dim, they flickered. The homepage froze like someone yanked the plug. Press page? Dead air. Andy's glossy bio vanished overnight. Kristen's profile slammed shut, and employees whispered about emergency calls that felt less like meetings and more like triage. No memo, no town hall, just Slack channels full of question marks and HR inboxes suddenly very, very quiet. Word leaked, because it always does, that the board was reviewing leadership, which is corporate for "we're sharpening knives but haven't picked a head yet." Some said Andy was on administrative leave. Others swore a resignation letter was already drafted, time-stamped, and buried behind legal signatures. Meanwhile, recruiters smelled blood and started DMing engineers with, "Hope you're okay. Also, we're hiring." Investors did the polite version of panic. Private calls, public silence. Clients asked, "Who's in charge?" and got boilerplate replies that answered nothing. A compliance team, allegedly independent, parachuted in to audit policies everyone assumed were fine until the kiss cam made them radioactive. When HR is the center of the storm, every past complaint turns into a loaded question. And over all that chaos, the echo of 2 late-night punchlines playing on loop. The company couldn't move faster than the meme, and every day without a real statement felt like another confession. But here's the twist. Colbert wasn't just torching Andy, he was using Andy to torch CBS. Fallon got his laughs and moved on. Colbert lit the building he works in. Colbert's bit wasn't just a dunk on a messy CEO. It was artillery aimed at his own network. Mid-sketch, he stopped the music like a panicked stage manager. "Guys, stop. I just got this note from corporate. Your song has been canceled." Then he read the memo aloud. "It says here this is a purely financial decision. Since you started playing that song, the network has lost, and I don't know how this is possible. $40 to $50 million. The laugh landed, but the target was clear. Paramount and CBS, the same suits pulling the plug on his show. He'd already weaponized the kiss cam trope, panning to Anderson Cooper, Andy Cohen, Jon Stewart, John Oliver, Jimmy Fallon, Seth Meyers, Triumph the insult comic dog, before ending on an animated Trump cuddling the Paramount logo. "Either they're having an affair, or they're just very shy," the announcer purred, a line ripped straight from the real scandal and refocused on corporate hypocrisy. Then Colbert twisted the knife, reminding viewers he'd called Paramount's reported $16 million settlement with Trump a big fat bribe. Byron's meltdown became the perfect smokescreen for Colbert to torch his bosses in prime time. Lin-Manuel Miranda even challenged the excuse on air. "Tell me this has nothing to do with who we just put a spotlight on." And Colbert deadpanned back that the letter mentioned nothing of the sort. Satire, sure, but also a receipt. He read corporate buzzwords: performance, quality, stature, irreplaceable, the same praise CBS used when it axed him. then signed off as the paramount family of global entertainment properties and AI weapon systems. That's not a joke. That's a thesis statement dressed as a gag. So while everyone thought he was tearing into Andy Byron, Colbert was actually staging a televised HR complaint of his own against CBS. And the Byron scandal? Just the perfect prop. Strip away the memes and you're left with a gnarly question. Who polices power when the cop is part of the crime scene? An HR chief arm in arm with the CEO isn't just messy optics, it's a trust collapse. Every employee who ever swallowed a complaint because HR reports to him anyway now feels vindicated and furious. The policy slide decks about disclose relationships and avoid power imbalances suddenly read like satire. And once late night turns that hypocrisy into a punchline, there's no putting the integrity genie back in the bottle. Comedy accelerates judgment. Jokes flatten nuance into archetypes. The sneaky CEO, the compromised HR boss, the dignified spouse, the clueless board. It's cathartic, sure, but it also means real investigations get tried in front of people eating cereal at midnight. A wink from Fallon or a memo gag from Colbert becomes the jury instruction millions absorb. Did we just get accountability via laughter? Or did we skip due process because the setup was too good? Meanwhile, employees watch all of this and take notes. If HR's off the board, who do you tell? If leadership's scrambling, do you stay or run? And if your company's reputation can implode because of 30 seconds on a jumbotron, do you even believe in internal channels anymore? Or do you just hit record and hope the algorithm is nicer to you? That's the uncomfortable overlap. Entertainment punishes faster than ethics committees. The crowd got its villain, the hosts got their monologues, and astronomer got a crisis. But did anyone actually fix the culture that let this happen? Or did we just enjoy the bonfire? Because the biggest lesson isn't about kissing on camera, it's about how fragile power looks under one. This entire saga started with a heart graphic meant to sell nachos. A kiss cam, built for cheap laughs, ended up doing what audits, exit interviews, and compliance hotlines couldn't. It blew the lid off a power structure in 30 seconds flat. That's the modern equation. One public moment, plus 1,000 phones, plus an algorithm starving for drama equals instant reckoning. No subpoenas, no whistleblower memos, just a zoom, a gasp, and infinite replay. Executives train for earnings calls, not arena ambushes. They memorize crisis statements, not what to do when a stadium camera catches the exact 5 seconds they shouldn't share. And once that footage escapes, the internet doesn't ask for context. It demands a storyline. TikTok provides the act breaks, Reddit writes the footnotes, and late night delivers the verdict with a punchline. Jokes become moral shorthand, laughter becomes a sentence. But the speed comes with fallout. Silence from a company now reads like guilt. HR's credibility evaporates in a single frame. Reputations, years in the making, fold faster than a meme cycle. And late-night hosts? They're not just entertainers anymore, they're narrative accelerants. When Colbert turns your scandal into a bit and Fallon tags it in his monologue, the case is closed in the court of public opinion, even if the legal paperwork hasn't started. So what's the takeaway? Integrity has to live where cameras can't reach, because cameras will find what you hope they won't. Image management is drywall. The internet is a battering ram. And if a stadium gag can topple a CEO, imagine what the next innocent moment will do to someone who thinks they're safe in the dark. A stadium heart icon blinked, a crowd cheered, and a CEO flinched. TikTok dissected, Glassdoor resurfaced, Megan deleted a last name, and then late night lit the match. Colbert swinging a faux memo like a broadsword, Fallon grinning as he twisted the knife. HR lost its halo, a board lost its sleep, and a billion-dollar brand learned that silence is louder than any statement once the jokes start writing themselves. So what did we actually watch? Accountability? Or entertainment dressed up as justice? Maybe both. Because in 2025, a camera doesn't just capture you, it cross-examines you. And when comedians double as cultural referees, reputations don't erode, they evaporate. The real lesson? Build something sturdier than a press release. Cameras are everywhere, algorithms never blink, and the next innocent cutaway shot might already have your name on it. If you want the next implosion decoded before it hits a punchline, stick around. The feed never sleeps. Neither should your curiosity.